I so enjoy these opportunities to gather on a weekly basis in our cathedral. I know they're just a brief opportunity for reflection and to move us deeper into the presence and power of God. But we also have these windows into the work and life and ministry of these saints. And today we lift up Thomas Gallaudet and Henry Winter Sile. You can read more about them, their lives, and I hope you will. But my window into their lives and ministry has come from one of my Franciscan brothers. Brother Andrew is now a deacon up in the Diocese of New York. And when I was up there this past year for his ordination, it was amazing to see the signs of the work, the fruits that these two saints of God planted in New York and across the church. Brother Andrew is an interpreter, and to see his ministry around that, but at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, there were so many members of the deaf community that gathered in worship, and it was amazing to see the way that folks were so connected, and to see the way that worship unfolded in that way, and getting a chance to get to know some of these dear folks that he's been in community with was just profound. I was able to see and hear things that I hadn't seen or heard before in ways that my heart and mind opened. I love Brother Andrew, and I love that I get to be present for his diaconal ordination. And I love deacons in general. I had a chance yesterday. I was going to have a meeting with our Archdeacon, Denise Schiavone, and I was meeting at the start of the morning with one of our retired deacons who Dean is preparing for a procedure today. So we lift Dean up in prayer. I have his permission to share that. And when he and I gather, we always pray together. And as we were walking out, I asked I said, I have my oil stock. Can I anoint you as you prepare for this? And so we were standing out in the parking lot, and when I wear my habit, which I really like doing, sometimes it attracts attention that brings folks closer to God in ways that I love. And this was one of those moments. So Dean was willing to have me anoint him and lay hands on him. And if you know Dean, Dean has wrestled with hearing impairment for a lot of his life, since the entire time that I've known him for these last 20 years. So we have a dance that we do together in terms of how we connect deeply and are able to talk. And he reads lips beautifully and also has cochlear implants. So I had my hands on him and I was praying, and I felt, sometimes when you pray and you feel God come upon you in an even more powerful way than you're used to, and God just surprises you. But this felt even more different. I felt like somebody else was praying with us. I didn't know what to make of that, but I was praying there with my hands on him, and I just felt God in this profound way. And we ended the prayers, and I looked him in the eye, hugged him, and we said our goodbyes. And as I was walking just across the parking lot to get in my car, I heard something. It wasn't a voice, but I heard something. And then I was like, maybe I'm not hearing something, maybe I'm feeling something. And I stopped in the parking lot, and I needed to make sure that I was not going to get hit by a car. And I looked back, and I was like, did I hear something? What am I feeling? You ever have these moments where you think maybe God is trying to get your attention, but you're not paying as close attention as you'd like to? Maybe this never happens to you, but it happens to me all the time. And so I got this, and I'm standing in the parking lot, and I look back, and I see this light coming off of the ramp going up into the diner where we're eating, and then I just saw this smile. And she greeted me, and I think she said, "God's peace be with you." And I hollered out, "God's peace." And, I thought I could just keep going, but I just paid attention to what that feeling was, that call, that thing that opened up in me. It was my heart and my mind and my whole body opened up. And I just found myself moving toward her. And she was up on the ramp, and we were talking, and I met Deacon Dawn. Deacon Dawn. So in between these encounters with deacons here, I met Deacon Dawn of New York, who was on pilgrimage coming up from visiting her family down in North Carolina, and was on the way up, and we got to talk and pray together, and I just felt blessed in this powerful way. And I bring that blessing to you today, because I wonder, if maybe you too need the reminder that sometimes our hearts and our minds and our ears are not open to hearing in the fullest way they could to what God is doing and how God is seeking to get our attention. And on this sacred Tuesday, as we gather to remember these saints that lifted up the deaf communities of the church that recognized that the needs of these communities warranted much more attention and effort and resources than the church at that time was sharing. I think we have something to ponder for ourselves about the ways in which God is talking to us now. And I wonder, what are the barriers that you have between you and God and your deep listening in your heart and your mind and your whole self? So I ask you, as you listen today, as you seek a more open heart and mind, what is God calling you to today?